This is a review and once over of the Frigidaire Gallery 1.7 cubic foot microwave, model number FGMV176NTF. It's made to fit in a 30-inch space over a range and comes in nice smudge-proof stainless steel. I really like this microwave. Other than the signal, it cooks quieter than our old microwave, cooks faster, has some convenient features, and looks nice. The Frigidaire replaced a 10-year-old GE profile microwave that was getting louder, making funny noises, was taking longer and longer to cook and reheat, and that's how I knew it was time to give up the ghost. The old GE profile model that we bought was top of the line when it came out. It was super expensive, had many extra features. For example, it was also a convection oven. However, since we only used the basic functions like cooking and reheating, we decided to get a simpler model to replace it. This Frigidaire model has the basic cooking reheating features we wanted, but most importantly, it also fit in the 30-inch space above the range where the old microwave was, and as we required, it doubles as a convertible hood for the range cooktop below. Inside the microwave, there's a 13.5-inch diameter glass rotating turntable, a light, and a metal space-wise rack. The rack is only used for 2-level cooking and should not be left in the microwave for normal use. So we don't store it in the microwave. There's also a chart at the bottom here that shows you all of the cooking options for each of the buttons, which I'll demonstrate in a moment. This Frigidaire Gallery microwave works well. It has lots of options. Aside from the usual manual cooking, it also has auto cook, sensor reheat, sensor cook, auto defrost, melt soften, and other specific programs, which I'll go over shortly. For manual cooking, I really like the quick start feature. For example, if I just press the number 2, and there's something in the microwave, it automatically selects 2 minutes on power 10. And if I want to add another 30 seconds, I just press the start button. Or if I put something in and I just hit the start button, whatever's in there gets cooked at the power 10 for 30 seconds. So let's take a look at the other buttons and options, of which I use a few consistently. Auto cook is used for rather specific tasks. I'm not sure how they came up with these, but I'll just say they're interesting. Each time you press the auto cook button, you'll see one of the 10 options. The options are scrambled eggs, and then you can select 1 to 6 eggs. Hot cereal for 1 to 3 servings of my daily oatmeal, and then it gets strange. This is for a 12-ounce frozen pizza, 18-ounce fudge brownies, and then it gets even stranger. Garlic shrimp, stuffed mushrooms, Asiago red potatoes, roasted vegetable medley, lemon and shrimp risotto. And lastly, white chicken chili. Those are quite specific, but if you want to cook those last 6 or 8 items, the recipes are in the manual. The options for sensor reheat include beverage for 1 to 3 cups, the measure, not the number of mugs. Dinner plate, which is for 1 to 2 plates. Soup sauce for 1 to 2 cups of soup and sauce. Casserole, measured in servings, although didn't casseroles go out of style in the 70s? Except lasagna, of course. And rolls, muffins, which is for 1 to 3 pieces. The sensor cooking option can be used for automatically cooking various foods. I'll show you how to select the options here. To select one of the sensor cooking options, like bacon, frozen dinner, rice, or frozen breakfast, just press the sensor cooking button until the option appears. Let's say bacon, and then it'll tell you here, it prompts you to press start. So you press start, and then you enter the number of slices. So 1, 2, or 3 slices. So I press 3, and then you press start, and it'll cook those 3 pieces of bacon. And as I said, the options for sensor cooking are 1 to 3 slices of bacon, which isn't enough bacon for the whole family ever, or a 10 or 20 ounce frozen dinner, 1 to 2 cups of rice, which my other half really likes, or an 8 or 12 ounce frozen breakfast, which in my opinion should be outlawed. Using auto defrost, you can select a category like meat, poultry, or fish, and then from there you select the weight of that item in tenths of a pound. Melt soften is handy and useful for melting sticks of butter, 2 for 8 ounces of chocolate, or a pint or 1.5 quarts of ice cream, which is one of my favorites, but you need to keep an eye on it. If you've already eaten some of of the ice cream out of the container, you may turn it into a warm milkshake. And then lastly, you can use it to soften 3 or 8 ounces of cream cheese. These 4 buttons, potato, veggies, popcorn, snacks, are used for one-touch cooking. Although they're not really one-touch, you still have to select options. You use the potato button for 1 to 4 8-ounce potatoes. You use the veggies button for fresh or frozen veggies. The popcorn button is for 1 3/4 to 3.3 ounces of popcorn. And then the snacks button is used for frozen pizzas, hot dogs, which are not a snack, but a food group for some. And then a 2.39 ounce, very specific meal in a cup. I have no idea what that is. And then lastly, this is for an 8.8 ounce frozen kids meal, which I'm sure is convenient, but probably should be outlawed for nutritional reasons. The microwave has many convenient functions selected by using the clock and settings button. This is where you'll set the time of the 12-hour clock. There's no AM or PM. This is where you'll also turn on and off the control lock, which basically locks up the control panel so nothing can happen. There's a power save feature, which I don't completely understand. All it does is shut off the clock. And you can set the times for it to turn on and off. Power save mode. Here's where you'll adjust the sound of the annoying beep. You select low, medium, high, or my favorite, off. And when it toggles to your selection, you press start. You'll also use this button to reset the pure air filter, which goes up here. You remove that screw, you push in the carbon filter, and then the carbon filter reduces smells that are coming up from the range. You'll also use this button to select your language and whether you want to see things in pounds or kilograms. And then there's the crazy demo mode, which doesn't use any power, but there's a lot of flashing lights and noise that happen. Kind of looks like Star Wars. But yeah, if you want to see the demo mode, you can see that from here. This button here is where you'll select the power level. I would show you that button in action, but I need to have food in there and you need to select the time in order to select the power level. And this thing will cook with 2 different levels. So you can cook 15 minutes on one power and say 10 minutes on another, which is kind of cool. But there are 11 power levels selected by pressing the power level button consecutively. Just keep in mind that when you press the power level button, it counts down from 100. So power level 10 basically down to no power at all. This button turns on and off the turntable, but keep in mind if you use certain programmed options up here, the turntable will spin even if you've turned it off. Here you can select the fan speed of high, which is 300 CFM, or low of 105 CFM, and then off. We have this unit set up to vent our range by recirculating, which means it blows the air out the top front of the unit inside the house versus venting outside. But this unit can be set up to blow outside with the supplied parts, and assuming you have something set up from, say, an old range ventilation hood. The fan has a replaceable carbon filter, which simply gets stuffed into the top where I showed you before to reduce smells coming off the range. Also, the fan will automatically come on if the bottom of the microwave gets too hot from the range below. Kind of cool. There are 2 removable grease filters, ventilation filters, underneath the unit, and they should occasionally be washed with soap and water. The timer button here is one of my most used functions for timing things that I'm cooking on the range or in the traditional oven. And then lastly, this is the under microwave light button, which can be used to turn the lights high. You may not be able to see this, but high, dim, or off. The inside of the microwave, as well as the lights underneath, are LEDs, and they're super white. The color temperature has got to be about 4,000 Kelvin, which in my opinion is good for office buildings and interrogation rooms. And if you couldn't tell, I don't really like LEDs because while LEDs are efficient, they don't look pretty like old incandescent lights. They're very harsh. So these lights don't match the warm under cabinet lighting of the rest of our kitchen. It would be nice if there was an option to change the color temperature to, say, a warm yellow, like 2800 Kelvin, that warm yellow, homey kind of thing. But I'm currently looking into how to do that, possibly using photogels. Maybe I'll do another video on that. I also wish there was a nightlight function on this model. If you don't know what that is, a nightlight feature allows you to set an on and off time for the under cabinet or the underside lights. It's handy, say you want to have the light come on around the time you come home and go off before you go to bed. Unfortunately, this model does not have that nightlight feature. Here's a better look at the underside of the unit. You have two grease ventilation filters, one here and one over there, and you wash those with soap and water. Let's have a look at the lights. Colonel Mustard, where were you on the night of September 14th, and what were you cooking in your microwave? That's high, that's medium, and that's off. Super bright, cold LEDs. The Smudge-Proof stainless is fantastic at avoiding fingerprints. I've had my fingers all over this thing during the video, but there's not a single fingerprint on it other than the keypad, which is unavoidable when you're cooking anyway. To clean the surfaces, including the stainless steel, you just wipe with warm, soapy water. Definitely do not use stainless steel cleaner. Another thing is when we received the microwave, there was a large sticker on the stainless of the door. I slowly peeled it off and the sticker left behind all this adhesive. Why do manufacturers do this? Anyway, it was a mess. And I figured out how to get it off. If you want to know how I did it, I'll post a link up here in the right-hand corner and you can see how I did it. I don't think you're going to hear it very well in this video, but the signal tones of this microwave are hideous and annoying, in my opinion. And this is on the low volume. Let me demonstrate. Actually, you'll hear it in a few moments, but the beep is shrill and relentless. So when the food is done or the timer goes off, there are 3 long beeps. That's 2. Followed by silence. Then 3 long beeps again, silence, so on and so forth, until you just can't ignore it any longer. Our old microwave gave a signal when the food was done, and then 1 soft chirp per minute to remind us the food was done. Unfortunately, the signal on this microwave is as relentless as a smoke detector and annoying even on low volume. And while I'm on the topic of beeping, assuming you can hear me over that annoying noise, I wish Frigidaire would replace one of these buttons in here, perhaps potato, with a mute button. Because when you get up early in the morning and you don't want to disturb the family, if you could just hit the mute button so that it doesn't make noise, that would be fantastic. But if you want to shut the volume, the beep of the volume off, you've got to click 4 buttons in the clock setting to get to volume, and then press again to select either low, off, volume. And that drives me crazy. Lastly, the microwave is nice and quiet, but occasionally the glass turntable will wobble slightly if a plate is not properly centered, and that'll add a little extra noise. But overall, we really like this microwave, and it has the features we like for cooking, reheating, melting, defrosting, etc. Does it have some unnecessary features like garlic shrimp risotto? Yeah, but it doesn't have unnecessary and expensive features like doubling as a convection oven. We never used that when we had it. Are there things that would make this unit better? Say, for example, adding a nightlight, a mute button, or changing the color temperature of the LEDs? Absolutely. But for the price, this works fantastic for us. I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, please do me a favor and like it, and that way other people can find it. And thank you so much for watching.